Hey everybody, I'm Sarah with A Thrifty Mom, and I'm going to teach you guys how to make chicken pillows, which is essentially a chicken mixture, cheese mixture inside of a little bread pocket. And then we're going to make rice A Roni from scratch. If you find this useful, we please would ask you to like, share, and comment. That really helps us. Okay, I do have the recipe via that link. That being said, you guys will notice that I do these slightly different than the recipe actually reads. That being said, I tend to kind of create recipes, and then as time happens, I tend to change them. That's just the way I am. And as you notice, I don't always measure either because that's just how I cook. Okay, so I am doubling this recipe. Hey, Sherry. I'm doubling this recipe because on Tuesdays, I feed my mom, my dad, and my uncle, and so I make twice as much as I normally would. I have cream cheese here. You need it softened, like kind of room temperature, and I forgot to pull it out till just now. So I'm just gonna pop this in a bowl, and then we are going to quickly just put that in the microwave for a second, and that's just going to soften it up. Hey, Megan. Hi there at Knott's now. We'll have fun. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Kimberly. Thank you, Megan. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna put that in there. Waste not, want not. I'm gonna get that little bit off the side and then wash my hands. But I'm going to put this in the microwave just to defrost it, not defrost, but just to get it to like room temperature. Sorry, gotta wash my hands. Get that cream cheese off there. And that's just gonna soften that up so it's easier to use. Okay, so as that cream cheese is softening, hey Crystal, once again I am doubling the recipe. Hello from Texas. We are using canned chicken. I think canned chicken for most of my life I was like, I would rather eat dog food, or that's what I kind of attested it to. Not all canned chicken is the same, and canned chicken gets kind of a bad rap. But this Kirkland from Costco canned chicken is super good, and it's really good to make an easy, quick gravy. It's tender, it's yummy, and if you haven't tried it or you tried it a long time ago, try it again. So we're going to be using 2 cans of canned chicken. Now, if you really just detest canned chicken, 1, I would invite you to try it again, but 2, go ahead and just boil yourself some chicken, and then you're going to go ahead and shred it. But this is a super easy way. Now, when you do this, girls, do not throw out the broth of your chicken. No, it depends on which brand you get. It can be kind of the same, okay? So we're going to go ahead and take this broth, and this is what we're going to use in our rice, because we're going to make our own rice A Roni from scratch, okay? So we're going to want to drain your canned chicken, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing over here.
You put chicken broth in rice A Roni.
You do put chicken broth in rice A Roni. It makes it delicious. Okay, so I just went all the way around, but then I'm just holding the lid on and pouring it out and kind of pressing to get the extra moisture out of there. Okay, and we're going to set that aside, and when these are done, I'm going to show you how to make rice A Roni from scratch. Normal rice A Roni I loved until I started getting pregnant. If I've had 5 babies, and it gives me the most horrible heartburn, and it is now, you can't pay me to eat normal rice A Roni. It gives me such horrible heartburn, and I just don't really like the way it tastes anymore, but if you make it from scratch, it's amazing. Costco has chicken on sale this week. What? All right, I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay, so I now have, forgot to shut my thing. I have my 2 bricks of cream cheese in here, okay? We're going to go ahead and set this chicken broth aside. I ended up getting a cup out of 2 containers. And let's see if this is soft enough. Not quite. We're going to give it like 1 more minute. Okay, so we have our chicken. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take some green onions. Now you'll realize in the original recipe I call for celery. I still like the celery, however, my kids don't like the texture of the celery, and so therefore we have started not putting the celery in there. because they were picking it out and driving me crazy with it. Let me wash these really fast. And so we quit putting celery in ours, but you can totally add it to yours. It kind of gives it a fun little crunch.
You had those for snack ones.
You had these for snack ones? Woo! Okay, we're done. I can hear it popping. Woo! Okay.
And everyone ate it and threw it away and started rubbing their eyes.
This? Where did you get your kitchen towel? I don't know. Walmart probably. Okay, so I'm going to cut. Oh, I bet she means on my oven door over there. My mother-in-law made it for my husband for Christmas one year. Okay, so I'm going to take a bunch of green onions here, and I'm going to fine dice them. Oh, thank you, Jill. Okay, and we want to make these small because we don't want you to even really notice that there's onions in this dish. We just want you to get that yummy green onion flavor. So if you're doing huge old bits that people can noticeably pick out, your onions are too big. And I think I had about 7 onions. These were kind of big ones. And once again, I am doubling this recipe, so keep that in mind.
So for a normal recipe, you'd only use 1 can of chicken?
So for a normal recipe, you'd only use 1 can of chicken, correct. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of give these a fine chop again. You could chop celery finer. Yes, I know, but my kids seem to find it, and so you know what, I just started admitting it. I was like, you know, I'm omitting it, not omitting. Anyway, I just decided, you know what, I'll just leave it out. Okay, I'm gonna take my yellow jacket off because my sleeves are falling down. This actually isn't us, that is not a Tupperware bowl. It's actually one that a brand gave me at one time to do one of their recipes. It's a Cruza Pro? I don't know. I normally use the Tupperware bowl that I love all the time, but because I'm doubling the recipe, it's just not quite big enough, so I find I use that one more. I do use a lot of Tupperware gadgets. They're one of my favorites, but for this particular recipe, no. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we're going to put all of these green onions in here. Okay, and then, so in the bowl we have our cream cheese, our 2 bricks of cream cheese. We have our green onions. I'm horrible, I never measure, but just for the sake of you guys, because I don't think this is in the original recipe either. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of ranch seasoning, so Hidden Valley Ranch Seasoning. And then I'm going to do, and that's for, like I said, we're doubling the batch. And then I'm going to do about a tablespoon of dried dill. And this is freeze-dried dill, and I love it. And dill and chicken is just such an awesome combo. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to, so here's our canned chicken, okay? This canned chicken from Costco is super, super good. It's like all white meat. It totally flakes. Really nice. It doesn't have like weird chewy bits in it. It's just like fork tender. It will flake apart. I really do. This isn't sponsored by all means. But Costco, if you do somehow want a super awesome lady to talk about your recipes, here I am. Anyway, I would encourage you to try Costco's canned chicken again. It kind of changed the chicken game for me. Because I had tried other brands of canned chicken and they made me gag. So this is super awesome just to have like in your food storage, in your pantry on a busy day, to be able to pull this out, add it to a soup, or make gravy from it or something, and just know that it's yummy, big chunks of all white meat, and your kids are gonna love it. So there's the chicken in there. Yes, Matt is heading home. He's actually currently in Germany, but in a few hours it will be morning over there and he starts his journey home. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and shred that chicken with the back of my fork because we want this to be in small little pieces, okay? We don't want one bite to just be all chicken. We want it to be shredded chicken.
Did he tell you what he's gonna bring us?
Nope. He did not. Okay. So this is the reason I'm using the bigger bowl because I want to really be able to get in here and mix this all up really well. Juice in the can. So it did not have juice in the can. I actually drained the juice and it's sitting right back there because we're going to use that juice to make our homemade rice roni from scratch. I was actually at my sister's and we made this recipe and she drained the juice down the sink and I was like, no! Don't drain the juice down the sink. I was like, that's good chicken broth. Okay, so we're making sure we don't have any like huge clumps of cream cheese or any huge clumps of chicken. And now because this hand's dirty and this one's clean, I'm gonna use my opposite hand. We're gonna add some cheddar cheese blend. So I'm using, I don't know, the recipe will tell you how much, but I'm assuming I'm using about 2 cups of cheese. Once again, I told you guys, sorry, I don't measure very well. But the recipe is over there, and you'll notice it's slightly different than what I'm telling you. Okay. So we're gonna do that.
It smells good.
It smells good. Okay, I'm gonna wipe my hands off. And then we're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper because, you know, it's always good to season your food. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and change from my fork. I was using that because I needed to
break up the chicken.
Break up the chicken. Just making sure that this is all incorporated really well. And this is what it looks like now. Kind of looks like tuna salad, shredded chicken salad. That's a great tip too, Pam.
Looks like my
Kids are doing slightly better, or quite a bit better actually than this morning, but Madeline still has a bad cough. The girls both kind of have a bit of a tummy ache.
I got Madeline's cough because I started coughing.
You think you have Madeline's cough? Okay.
Started.
So now I'm going to take the other side of this. This is what I use to cut my green onions on. And we are going to open
I want to open them.
crescent rolls, okay? Okay, come over here. I told you to leave the blanket on that side though. I'm going to make sure you grease your cookie sheet, your baking sheet.
Now it just got really cold.
Okay. Here, open these up. Well, hey, well, you're missing out, baby girl. We got. Wash your hands. Okay, I'll save this one for you. Okay. Got 400 people waiting. We can't wait for you to wash your hands, baby girl. Okay, plus Grandma's going to be here and ready to pick up the food. Okay, so I'm using the crescent roll sheets. These are ones that aren't cut into triangles. And we're going to roll these out. Not ready for it just yet, sweetheart. Okay. And we're going to mush it together so it doesn't have any holes. Okay, like this. Canned chicken makes the best chicken salad. Yeah, it's like I said, you got to find a good brand. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this sheet in half. And then I'm going to cut it in half again. And then I'm going to cut those halves in halves. And those halves in half. And then we're going to cut, it's going to sound crazy, we're going to cut them in halves again. Okay? And each one of these, surprisingly, is going to stretch to fit quite a bit of meat. Okay? So we're going to take this and we're going to kind of pull it open. You can start, sweetheart. She's my good little chicken grabber filler. And then we're going to grab, I don't know, a pretty hearty spot. I mean, I would think that that's probably at least a tablespoon, if not 2 tablespoons. And we're going to kind of pinch it this way. And then we're going to grab the bottom and we're going to pinch the bottoms down here. And then we're going to tuck all this up inside. And then we're going to pinch it shut. Okay? And you're just going to pinch it all shut. She looks like her dad. She does look a lot like her dad. And then we're gonna kind of roll it, and it's this little ball, and inside of it is all that turkey. I mean, all that chicken. Okay, and then we're gonna plop it on the roll. So this is gonna be a little boring. Sorry, this is real life. I don't have anything just prepared for you. And as you can see, this one's stretched a little bit more. So, I think that one's too much. Get like, more like that one for yours. Okay, so you can fit a surprisingly amount of turkey in here, chicken. So we're gonna pinch it shut, and then we're gonna poke it down in there, pinch the end shut. Okay, then we'll flip it upside down, poke the bottom again, and then squeeze it all over. And then we're just gonna kind of roll the edges in, and there we go.
I fold mine different.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm stretching it gently. These crescent rolls have so much stretch. Now, as you guys know, I make a lot of my rolls from scratch, and I used to try to make this recipe with my own homemade roll recipe, and it didn't have the elasticity that these did, and plus I found that they got like a little soggy on the bottom. It's just been so much easier to use canned crescent rolls. Okay, so there we go, there's that. So I'm stretching, and I'm putting suction, and it feels like there's no way you're gonna be able to get all of that in there, but if you tuck and pinch, you'll be able to get that all in there. Okay. Okay. And my daughter just gooed my arm with chicken. You did. That's okay. I still love you. You're doing a great job. You need quite a bit more than that, baby girl.
That much?
Yep. Okay.
That stuff is starting to seep out.
That's okay. Stick it in there.
No, out of this.
Oh, out of that. It's like me when I eat something that makes me bloat. There's a reason why I wear baggy shirts. As a muffin top is a real thing. Semi-homemade, always good. All right, okay. Okay, so plop it in there. Go, roll. Stretch. Plop it in there. Could you lay one sheet out and add the filling? I used to do that. I totally used to do that. The problem is I ended up getting all of this dry kind of sheet around it, and it just didn't work good. So I had to go back to doing it this way. This way, yep, this way you really get like optimal ratio of bread versus filling. When I did it, when I would just lay it down and then I would put it on and fold it over, I would just get so much bread compared to the meat filling. And then the bread would kind of dry out before the middle would. And maybe I just did it wrong. I'm not sure. But this way has just worked so much better. And it doesn't take that long. I mean, it takes a little bit of time. But it's worth it, for me at least, to do it this way.
That's what happened to one of mine.
That's what happened to one of yours. It also helps if your rolls are like, you don't want your rolls too hot or they'll fall apart, and if your rolls are too cold, they'll crack. So keep that in mind if you're having troubles. She is good at making them. She's my little helper. She always likes to help me make these.
Come off the fork. That put them in?
Yep. Okay. Okay, so I'm almost wondering if I shouldn't just stop here, let my daughter finish the other roll, and then I'll take you guys over and we'll start making the rice. That way you guys aren't just watching me be super bored, stuff all of these.
You've gotten more viewers.
I've gotten more viewers. I'm up for trying new things. Sounds really good. Thank you. Okay, so we do have these, and I think, well, I'm gonna My daughter, let me cut for her so she gets it. And then I'm gonna. You need to plop it on there? Okay. Yep. Okay. So we're going to, like I said, cut it in half again. And then we're going to cut it in half. And then we're going to cut those in half. Cut those in half. Cut those in half. Those in half. Half. And half. Just wait. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a total of 16 squares is what we're going to get. So my daughter kind of wants me to help figure out how much to put on each one. So I'm going to do that for her really fast, and then she'll pick them up and she'll fold them, and we will get started on our rice in the back. That way you guys don't have to watch this whole process. Hey Keely, in a second I need you to come switch the light for me. Thank you. It's really important to get your girls or your boys cooking when they're little, because by the time if you try to teach them when they're teenagers, older teens, they've got jobs, they got other things, and most of the time they're not as eager to learn. But if you let them start helping, even like my 4-year-old helps a lot, they're excited, they're eager to learn, and then they also feel, you know, happy about the process, and they're not as busy, and then they're able, you know, most teenagers don't want to start by learning how to make toast and mac and cheese or something, but a 4-year-old is super excited to learn that. So keep that in mind. If you start them when they're young, they'll they will do better as they get older.
Mom.
What, sweetheart?
Mom's asleep.
Okay, yeah, she doesn't feel good.
Where do you want the light?
I'm gonna have you switch it over there, but once I switch over there, I'm still trying to learn. Yeah, I was lucky that I had a grandma that taught me. My mom taught me. My mom actually hates cooking, but my grandma liked cooking, so she used to like to show me stuff. And then by the time I was like 10, I was in charge. Let me wash my hands. By the time I was 10, I was in charge of cooking dinner at least once a week. And by the time I was 12, I was cooking dinner a couple nights a week. And I lived on a farm, and so for me, it was a chore I like to do. I would rather cook than be outside working with the cows. And so I was like, I'll cook dinner. So it was a good skill for me to learn. Okay, so we're gonna move you guys over. Yes, Meg, we are making chicken pillows.
That's super yummy.
Okay, so, here? Yeah. So we're gonna put you guys over here. Hey, buddy.
Hi.
Turn some lights on.
Melon stick.
Okay. Okay, so I need you to get back, buddy.
Hi from Forest Hill. Me.
Okay, so we're gonna start out by doing 3 tablespoons of butter. Matthew's gonna turn that on for me.
What number do you want me at?
We're just gonna put it like on medium, okay? And we're gonna start out by dicing a small onion, okay?
What do you
You don't have to have this in here, but it definitely adds quite a bit of flavor, and it's really good.
What's
And
that?
these onions have been super, super potent. You guys keep telling me to run them underwater, so I'm gonna try that and see if that somehow helps. And we'll see if that helps me from crying. Okay, nope, just leave it on there, buddy. Okay, so here's my onion. I ran it underwater. We'll see if that actually helps or not. That would be awesome. Okay, we want to really finely dice this onion. We want to make each little onion piece about the same size as a grain of rice, because you don't want it like noticeable that there's chunks of onions in there. You just want the onion flavor, but not like, hey, there's onions in here.
What's the onions for, Mom?
They're for the rice.
Huh? Some handsome one, Matthew.
You're handsome. That's what they're saying. Say thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so I got that side done. Now I'm just thin slicing these. My kids like onions. As you can see, he's eating them raw. Okay.
I have a whole. I eat them a ton on my hamburger.
Okay. Could use onion powder. Yeah, you totally could. All right, so I have an onion here. It's probably a little more than I need, but that's okay, we like onion. So we're gonna add that onion in there. I'm gonna get rid of this because it's making my eyes water. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my heat up and I'm going to go ahead and get this onion cooking. And to this onion, we are going to add some seasonings. What are chicken pillows? Jackie, my daughter's back there finishing them up. But basically, they're crescent rolls with like a meat filling inside of them.
Busting.
Woo! My eyes are burning from the onion. Okay. So I'm gonna figure out. You gotta leave them all spread out, sweetheart, so that way they cook if you put them all in one pile.
Okay,
I know, it's a potent onion. I always soak the onions. Hate that. Yeah, I put it in water, but you probably need to soak it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna do,
Mom, what type of rice are you making?
we're gonna do 3 cups of rice.
What type of
So that means I'm gonna do 5 cups,
What type of
Matthew,
rice are you
I'm doing homemade rice Roni.
Oh,
Okay? Okay. So I'm going to do 3 cups of rice, and then that means I'm going to do half a cup of these. Now these can be found in the Mexican food section. What they are is they're teeny tiny little noodles, okay? Teeny tiny little noodles, and we're making homemade rice Roni. So I'm going to pour these in here. And these are going to brown up just like you would normally with your rice Roni. And like I said, you can find these in the Mexican food section. I don't know why that's where they are, but that's where they always are no matter what grocery store I go to. Okay, so that's what they look like, but they're basically little teeny tiny noodles. If you don't cut the root down, the onion won't burn your eyes. Look up Gordon Ramsay. I'll have to chill. Look at that, Brooke. Okay, so now we're going to use that butter and that onion, and we're going to let these noodles get a little bit of color on them. Okay. Matthew, don't eat it, please. Well, it doesn't have anything raw in it, but just don't eat it, okay? Okay, so we're going to let that there, and those noodles are going to get a little bit brown, which is going to make it look a little bit more rice-a-roni-like. If you don't have these, you can actually take spaghetti noodles and break them up super tiny, same idea, okay? Put in the fridge. I actually have my onions in the fridge. Okay. So I'm going to have the rice. So I'm going to need a total of, Keely, I need you to get your sister a drink. She's having a coughing fit. So we're going to do 3 cups of rice, and then with the noodles we're going to do 6 cups of liquid. So I have 4 right there. I did, Daisy. What sweet onions, white sweet onions don't make my eyes water. Normally onions don't make my eyes water too much, but I tell you what, this last batch that we've had have just been super, super potent. Okay, so those are starting to get some color on them. And now we're gonna go ahead and add our rice. And we're gonna put that in there too. And we're gonna get our rice to add. We're gonna just let it cook a little bit. And to the rice, oh, that one's not open yet. Alright, well I can't find my other one, so I'm going to open this one. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of garlic. And this is the garlic I like to use. It comes in a tube. It's in the refrigerator section. In
Can we put it in the oven?
it's like in the refrigerator section of the produce.
I can put it in the oven.
Okay, so this is what our chicken pillows look like. Malia has finished those. We're gonna go ahead and put those in the oven at 400 degrees.
I don't like reaching in there without the
Okay, so put those in there. 400 degrees, and we're gonna put them in for 15 minutes. Okay. And meanwhile, we gotta keep stirring this. We gotta cook. We gotta put that, yeah, you can stir. We gotta put the, mix that garlic in there. And then I'm gonna put some ranch seasoning in there. Thank you. And I'm probably gonna put about a teaspoon of ranch seasoning.
How come
And then I'm gonna put, about a tablespoon of dry chicken broth. And then I'm gonna put about 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper in there. And I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm gonna put some parsley in there. What kind of rice did you use? I'm using long grain, or what's it called? Man, if you hadn't just asked me, I could have totally told you. I'm putting some parsley in there. That was about a tablespoon of parsley. And then about a tablespoon of Mrs. Dash. Okay. So our rice is starting to look like, you can see that it's starting to cook. I wonder if I can. And then you can see that those little noodles that we put in have gotten nice and brown. Okay, now don't have your kids do this part because I got this shirt at Jane. What kind of rice do I use? I use like, it's like the expensive rice. I don't know. I used to just buy like the cheap rice, but now I buy like the stuff that's more for like sticky rice. Jackie, I have the full recipe for the chicken pillows. I actually don't have a recipe for this, so I'll need to put it together for you. Okay, I'm gonna take you guys off of here for a second so you guys can see what this rice A Roni looks like. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And now we're going to go ahead, and this is the part, like the chicken broth that we got from that canned chicken that was inside of our chicken pillows. Okay, and it's gonna steam up. And then we need 2 more cups, which I'm 1 cup short, so I'm actually just gonna substitute with water.
That was 4 cups though.
Yeah, I know, we needed a total of 6 cups. And I'm making a lot because I'm not only feeding my family of 6, but I am also feeding my mom, my dad, and my uncle tonight. So we're gonna put this on here. We're gonna wait for it to come back to a boil, which it should do very quickly. Once it comes back to a boil, we're gonna turn it down to simmer. Jasmine! Judy's the winner! Jasmine Ba'Ellen? Ba'Ellen, is that how you say your name? I'm probably slaughtering it, and I apologize because I bet it's a beautiful name and I don't know how to say it. Jasmine, yes, Jasmine is what I use.
Bellin?
Bellin, probably Bellin. Or Beelin? Bellin.
Bellin.
Okay, so we're gonna put that there, and like I said, so the advantage of cooking it this way is if you, if you use the rice A Roni one, it has a lot of stuff, like I said, that for me gives me horrible heartburn. I used to eat it all the time, and then too, it costs like $2 a box, where you can make enough to feed like a huge family for a fraction of the price. And then if you have people that are allergic to different ingredients, you can kind of make it custom to what your family needs. I love the pot filler, which I had one. Yeah, I know, I love it. The only thing, it leaks sometimes, and then I don't like the fact that it's cold water, because normally if I like to cook, I like to kind of start with hot water, but Balin. Oh, yeah, that's much prettier than what I said. Balin. Or Balin? Balin. I bet it's Balin. Okay. Bethlehem. Oh. Well, yeah, that's very pretty. Okay, so we're waiting for this to get to a boil, and then once it gets to a boil, we're going to turn it down, and we're going to cook it for 15 to 20 minutes, and then you're going to let it sit for another 10 minutes before you kind of, so it's going to take 30 minutes for this, okay? But it's worth it. It's yummy, and you can feel good about what your kids are eating and not have to worry about like, what's in there, and it won't give you heartburn. I don't think you guys want to, I don't know, you guys tell me, do you guys really want to stay on to see we have 9 more minutes on our chicken pillows. To me, that seems kind of boring to sit here. I showed you a picture of what they do look like. Another thing is when I first made this recipe like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, we used to always eat cream of chicken soup on the top as gravy. We don't do that anymore. And the recipe, you'll see that it has that in there. Rice or noodles. This is rice, but we actually did add some small noodles to it that we browned to make it look kind of like rice A Roni. Yes, wait. I want to see how they turn out. All right, well, okay, so this is at a boil now. So we're gonna turn it down to a simmer, and this is going to take 15 to 20 minutes, and you do not want to lift the lid, okay? That's one of the things with rice. You don't want to lift the lid. And yes, I have lots of laundry back there, okay? I'm single momming it with 5 kids right now, so I have laundry on my table that needs to be folded. I want to see too. I'll wait. All right, if you guys want to wait. Just got on. What is chicken pillows? Danielle, chicken pillows is croissant rolls that you fill with a meat filling. It's shredded chicken, cheese, cream cheese, seasoning, onions, dill, all mixed into one little ball. You wrap it around, and then you bake it. And it's kind of, I guess you could call it homemade Hot Pockets, but they could be that. They're always in the, I mean, these are called the melon seeds, and sometimes I get them different shapes, but they're in the Spanish food section, and they're like 30 cents a bag. And they're not by the other noodles. I don't know why. But they're always in the Spanish food section in every grocery store I've ever gone to. And they look like little melon seeds.
Sometimes you get ones that look like those little stars.
Yeah, sometimes we'll get ones that look like little stars. Sometimes we'll get like little short ones. But these are the ones I have on hand right now. Laundry happens, girl. Right, well, and I've also got three sick kids at home. So, okay, well, so my mom, what time is it? My mom should be here in about 20 minutes. So I need to figure out which vegetable we're going to have. And so I think we're just going to be lame, and I think we're just going to do frozen peas. So a lot of times I'll do green beans, and I'll show you guys how to make our favorite green beans another time. But tonight I'm just going to do frozen peas, and these are the ones that you can just stick in the microwave. So I'm just going to go super simple on these today, and I'm going to just do frozen peas. So we're going to have chicken pillows, we're going to have rice, and we're going to have frozen peas. I feel like you're getting so many extra followers just to watch your probably. David says broccoli because it's his favorite veggie. I have like just a tiny bit of broccoli left. Can you guys see the scar on my eye? You can see it at this angle really well. When my little brother and I were small, we were fighting, imagine that, and I was standing at the top of a staircase and he got really mad and he slammed the door and it split my eye like wide open and just, you know, like a head wound, like bleeds really bad. But we were poor, and so I should have got stitches, but I didn't get stitches, and so I have a pretty good, fun little scar right there. But he felt awful, by the way, and he's a really good guy now. That's just, you know, kids, they don't realize like, oh wow, if I slam my sister's, you know, head in a door, it might slice it open. Are they Asian style green beans? Yeah, kind of, but they're like, they have bacon in them. I would love these recipes. Nikki, they're in the description, and then I will kind of follow up with the rice recipe. We have 5 minutes left on the chicken pillows. We call our crescent chicken fillers with shredded chicken, cream cheese, butter, chicken seasoning, onion powder. Yeah, sounds good. Chicken pillows. I know, sounds weird, huh? And it was like something that I learned to eat, I think at like a church function a long time ago. I didn't come up with this recipe. I changed it to meet our family's needs. Is it like, are they like couscous? No, they're just like little melon-shaped.
You have like dirt on your bum.
I have dirt on my bum?
Yes.
Well, they're like little melon-shaped noodles.
Or raindrops.
Dang, I missed you making them. That's all right, Sarah. You can watch it on the playback, hun. We have 5 minutes left, and you guys said you wanted to see what it turned out like. And I obviously need to make a recipe post for this because I haven't done that yet. What's up, Matthew, says Becky. They look like orzo pasta. Yeah, probably kind of like that. I don't know. You can use any, but they just need to be small and be able to cook fast. And then they also need to be able to brown. And I'm just going to check on these, make sure they're doing good, which they are.
Wait, what time is it?
Yes, it's orzo. Okay. Evidently, it's orzo. All I know as a very broke mama. As you guys know, we started our blog to kind of teach people how to save money. When Matt and I got married, we had a grocery budget of $10 a week to feed 2 people. And we were able to do that by learning to coupon, but mainly just from cooking from scratch. And when I saw a bag of noodles for only 30 cents, I was like, the possibilities, okay? So we did the $10 to $15 a week grocery budget for about a year as we paid off all of his credit card debt. And then that allowed us to be able to have Matthew and debt-free. And what we didn't realize at that time was when Matthew was born, he was born missing the whole left side of his heart. He was born with hypoplastic left heart. Honey, that's really hot. And we would spend the next 4 years living in and out of hospitals. What did you just eat?
A chunky
A chunky part. Just trying to keep him alive, and he would undergo 4 major heart surgeries as well as like 12 other corrective surgeries on just different things. And so our whole lives changed at that moment. And because we had put ourselves out of debt and sacrificed, we didn't lose our house. We didn't have to, we didn't have to lose everything. My husband continued to work. I quit working. He continued to work so we could keep our health insurance. And I became his full-time mom, full-time nurse, full-time caregiver, and ended up in hospitals in Seattle, Utah, Arizona, just trying to keep him alive. And so Matt and I have a real passion for staying out of debt. Now, ironically, we've kind of gotten off track sometimes, and we have gotten back into debt for things that we thought we needed at the time. And then we fall into that credit card debt game where you realize, oh my goodness, like I paid so much in interest if I would have just waited. We are happy that we are out of... It's okay. We're out of debt now. We're debt free, and we've been that way for a while. We are working on trying to get our mortgages paid off, and we just have a real strong testimony of trying to live within your means. And that's why these recipes that I share with you guys are normally things that can feed people on a budget, and they're just something we like to share with you guys. I love your son is eating while you cook dinner, because my son does that too, darn boys. but it doesn't seem to affect their appetite. Nope. And he's eating little bits of raw onions and all sorts of random things. But
I always eat raw onions at Granny's.
the foot here today. It actually didn't snow today, but it snowed this weekend quite a bit. So
It's supposed to snow tomorrow.
okay. So on our rice, we have about another 8 minutes on our rice, and we have 2 more minutes on our chicken pillows. Thank you, Kendall. You're very sweet. And that's the one thing, like, you learn one concept and you think you've got it. Like I said, we knew how important it was for us to be out of debt, but then life happens and you think, oh, you know, I need this, or medical bills come up. Most of our debt has come from surgeries, unfortunately, but we have to get it paid off. I was a single mom of 2 and lived on $60 a month. Yep. We lived on $40 a month for groceries, and it was not fun. I don't ever want to go back to that, for sure. It's a snowstorm right now, supposed to tomorrow. Okay, so let me check these. Oh yeah, these are done. Okay, so I'm going to turn the timer back on. I'm going to add another 10 minutes for my rice. Actually, sorry, 8 minutes for my rice. And then I'm going to turn the oven off. Timer's still on. Baby girl, what'd you do with the hot pads? Oh, here they are. All right. So there they are. You guys hear them sizzling?
Now time to get it in my stomach. Chicken pillows.
We ate a lot of potatoes and a lot of rice, and we probably didn't eat very healthy, that's for sure. But we, you know, looking back, we probably should have got on food stamps or something, but we really wanted to do it ourselves, and we wanted to be self-sufficient. Okay, so there we go. Those are the chicken pillows, and inside of those is that super yummy chicken mixture. I need to put this over here. And then our rice, I can't, this needs to stay covered for another 15 minutes, and I have my son now that I need to get his homework done, but I'll snap a picture and put it in the comments of what the rice looks like once it's done. You do not want to lift the lid, otherwise you're going to let out all that steam in there. Unhealthy foods are way cheaper, I agree. I love the recipe. Thank you. I love the sizzling. I spend $700, $800 a month for a family of 7. Yeah, we probably spend at least $600-ish, and we have a family of 7 too. So we definitely spend way more now. But in the time to get ourselves out of debt, that's what we did. All right, guys, I'm going to chat with you guys later. Thanks for watching, and I'll try to go over to my computer right now and write down the recipe for this. And we'll go from there. Talk to you guys later. Bye. New to your page. Hi, Irene. Welcome to the page. And guys, if you don't mind, we appreciate if you like, share, comment. This really does help us. Talk to you later. Bye.